Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to an episode of Career Mode. Now I uploaded yesterday, and I want to say a big thanks to everyone who showed their support on that video. It's awesome. I think I'm actually going to be able to get 2 videos up today. My internet is being slightly more generous to me as far as the speeds go. I think I'm getting something like 3 down and 7 up on BT Fun or something like that, which is just some bizarre internet service that I've never heard of before. But we should be getting the good internet come on the 15th of March, I think. So when that comes, everything will be awesome and it'll all be gravy. But today I have a few things I want to talk about, and one of those things is in fact Daniel Sturridge, and I also want to talk a little bit about President Obama, and also Lucas Leiva is currently out on his red card. I think his red card was a little bit unjustified, but he has his red card, so that means he does also have a 1-match ban, which is a bit unfortunate. But fortunately, we do have Mvia, who I personally prefer to start anyway, so it doesn't make too big of a difference, but it just kind of hinders the team in the sense that, you know, if Mvia didn't have that good fitness or something like that, then I'd be in a bit of a pickle. But at the moment, things are all good, and I have a game against Arsenal. Arsenal actually doing pretty well in the league. I believe they're somewhere in the top 4 at the moment. They have Lopez. Lopez is actually really underrated in this game, and partner that up with Podolski, Walcott. You know, that's solid. You know, you still got Santi Cazorla there, also Wilshere, Monreal there as well. So, you know, they've got a good team. They haven't made too many changes, but I'm really interested to see how Lopez does at Arsenal. I haven't actually seen that particular transfer happen in any of my other career modes, so it's kind of exciting to see how it all goes down and how it all plans out. But early on into the game, you know, I was playing pretty well, but very early on, Arsenal have always played this sort of Barca-type football against me, and I've said it every time I play against Arsenal. They seem to be able to pass the ball around really well, and Walcott there buries the first goal, making it 1-0. A little bit nervous after that, to be perfectly honest with you, because I really didn't want to lose badly to Arsenal, but it didn't take long for another one to come in, this time from a centre-back from Koscielny there, as he manages to get a goal. And again, you know, a little bit disappointing, but we managed to pull one back through Sterling, and surprise, surprise, it was a near post goal. So you know, those sort of goals just happen so frequently, and if you have someone with a lot of pace on the wings, you'll find that you can usually score a lot of near post goals with him. And now I want to talk a little bit about Sturridge. Sturridge is just incredible now. If you guys were there in the beginning when I first started playing with Liverpool, I was actually really let down with Sturridge. His finishing was absolutely shocking and just all round really quite poor. So now he is just killing it. He is really doing an amazing job at the club. You guys might not see that many goals, you know, every game. I mean, don't get me wrong, he does score goals. I think he's at 30 odd goals for this across all competitions this season so far, and I believe we're in February sort of time. So that's really, really impressive, and I'm happy about that more than anything. So Daniel Sturridge is proving to be an animal. Now, I've never actually signed him for any other club, you know. Obviously, with Liverpool, he came with the starting team, so I didn't have to transfer him. But if you guys watch my Ajax series, I actually took a quick look towards the end during the transfer window to see if I could sign Sturridge. Unfortunately, you guys won't be able to sign Sturridge in the first season because he has recently just moved to Liverpool, so obviously he is not able to, you know, progress into another team anytime soon. So that was a little bit disappointing. But if you decide to start with Liverpool, or maybe you want to pick him up second or third season that you're with a certain team, do try him out, because his left foot is just huge. And David Silva there, or sorry, that was Sergio Aguero, my bad. His just shot, you know, he is scoring so many goals, and him and David Silva just seem to tear up my entire defense. David Silva's dribbling is just almost like, he's got Messi-like dribbling, and I don't know if any of you guys have played against Messi in career mode. It is actually so hard to try and contain him. And just like, even if you know, play a really solid defensive game, he still finds gaps. And that's how I feel it is with David Silva. You know, if you give him any sort of space or any sort of ability to dribble, that's all, you know, you really, as soon as he gets the ball, you have to hold that, well, for me, it's the B button, but it's the second man contain button. You got to hold that down, and you have to pressure David Silva off the ball and force him to make mistakes. Otherwise, he will just run riot around your team. So I had a game against Ruben Kazan there, and I actually ended up playing Borini instead of President Obama, just for the reason that for fitness, and you know, I had a few games coming up, had a bit of fixture congestion. Yeah, I think I have an FA Cup game really shortly after this. It might be against Norwich, I'm not entirely sure, but what sort of Barcelona-like goal was that? That was insane. The passing there was just incredible. So they managed to go 1-0 up against me. A little bit disappointed with that. As you can see, some of the players are really suffering from some fitness issues, but I made some last-minute sort of substitutions, see if I could get anything back from it. Brought Aubameyang on there because Sturridge was really low. also swapped out my center attacking mid Coutinho. Coutinho, the biggest problem with me for him is the fact that he runs out of stamina so quickly. And as you can see there, I mean, what the fuck? What the fuck was that? Really? Like, that was just complete bullshit. So, unfortunately, I do lose the first leg of that, but we do have a second leg, and that will determine, you know, what happens. You know, will I get kicked out? Do I have to stay? That sort of thing. And I get really lucky early on as Aubameyang really just cleans up an open goal. Nothing too special from him. And I remember at the beginning of the season, I was very much saying that Aubameyang was definitely the better player over Sturridge. But now they're very similar, you know. In fact, Aubameyang sets up Sturridge so well. And because Sturridge has a really solid left foot, it actually makes for some really nice goals. And speaking of his weak foot, he scores a goal with his right foot there, which is another point that I like about Sturridge. When it first started, his right foot was horrible. Now his right foot is actually okay, you know, it's not terrible, but given a pretty easy opportunity, he will put it away. But like I said, if you ever get the chance to have Sturridge on his left foot, it is just absolutely lethal. So I believe Sturridge is now around the 84 rated player. Aubameyang just sitting one behind him at 83. And Sturridge starts off as an 80, I believe he was in the club, possibly an 81. So he has come on really well. You know, you got to remember, we're only halfway through my first season with him, and he's already gone up +3 or even +4. So that was really impressive. And nice win there, nice victory over Norwich City in the FA Cup, 3-1, and Sturridge picking up one as well as Aubameyang picking up the other two, and an all-round good performance because we do want to try and pick up some silverware this season. It most likely won't be in the Premier League. I don't even know if it's mathematically possible. It might be, but as you guys can see, we do have the FA Cup, and it'll be interesting to see who we draw next and what happens next, because I really hope we don't get a really hard team, because I would prefer to go all the way to the final and then have a great game in the final, because like I said, you know, I really do want to pick up some silverware with the team this season. Once that game was over, though, we do have my game against Rubin Kazan. This time, it is the second leg, and I had to do really well, you know. One of the biggest things was that I actually had to make sure that they didn't score many goals, because it is a home game, so obviously you have the away goal rule, and I just needed to make sure that they wouldn't score many goals, because that was my biggest fear, you know. After losing the first round, I needed to make sure they didn't score many goals, and I scored a crap ton of goals if I wanted to go through. That was really going to be the only way I was going to go through. Rubin Kazan, overall, you know, they're a solid team. They do have Jose Reina there. To any of you guys that didn't know, I sold him right at the beginning there because I brought in Akinfeev. Akinfeev was definitely a flop for the team. I wasn't enjoying him, you know. It was quite strange, and I'd said it before, you know, he was actually picking up solid ratings, but he wasn't actually playing well in games, which was quite strange. I know it might sound a little strange, but he just wasn't working out well for me. So I ended up bringing Ulrich there. Ulrich is actually doing a great job. Now, he's not picking up these sort of amazing saves or anything like that, but he's just solid and consistent, and that's exactly what I want from a keeper that's not going to run out, end up fumbling the ball and doing a bunch of weird crap, pretty much. So really happy with that, and there, as you can see, that is a wonderful goal from Aubameyang there to make it 2-0, and we needed more goals, and most importantly, we needed to make sure they didn't score, and that was a huge blow. In the 13th minute, they actually managed to get a goal, and that meant that 3-1 wouldn't get me through, you know. I wouldn't go through on a 3-1 goal scoring line, so I needed to make it at least 4-1 if I wanted to go through, and that is a huge ask from the team. So 3-1 there. I needed one more goal. I had about 70 minutes to do it in, but Sterling there right towards you know, coming up to halftime, and we managed to make it 4-1 through Aubameyang. That was a huge goal for me. Really important, because that meant if the goal stayed like this, I would be going through. But Coutinho there on his left foot manages to p-roll that into the bottom left hand corner, and we end up winning 5-1, which in my opinion is an absolute battering, but overall really good to see. And that means we move on to the next round, which is absolutely awesome. I hope you guys have all enjoyed this video, and if you have, then leaving a like is very much appreciated. If it does hit 3,000, I will upload another video today. So yeah, guys, I'll see you all in a little bit. Bye bye.